If you didn't know, it's African American History Month, and one of the things that I know that I personally, as a history teacher, don't do a good enough job of is teaching African American history as part of American history and part of Kansas history too, because I'm a Kansas history teacher. So I'm going to dedicate some of my time in some of these videos I make over the next month to talk about the history of African Americans in Kansas. And one of the things I want to start with are these towns that I have circled in red on my map. Those are towns that were founded by either Exodusters or those looking to escape the persecution after Reconstruction ended in the South in the 1870s. And because of the bleeding Kansas and pre-Civil War history of Kansas, with figures like John Brown and others making Kansas a anti-slavery, pro-freedom state, a lot of African Americans wanted to come to Kansas. And the biggest thing that really fueled the Exoduster movement into Kansas was the end of Reconstruction in the South. From the end of the war until the 1870s, a lot of the former southern states, and when I say a lot of, I mean almost all the former southern states were under the control of the United States federal government and were not allowed to elect their own governments. The idea behind Reconstruction was that they would eventually be allowed, those states would eventually be allowed to elect their own governments again, but they wanted to establish a period where African Americans could be reintegrated into society instead of the slaves that they formerly were. And for a lot of it, it was a success. You have the first African American senator elected during that time, and several congressmen, state representatives, and others elected all throughout the South with the newfound powers and the voting ability that African Americans have. However, when the Republicans end Reconstruction, a lot of that goes away. And now facing new prejudices and new governments that are hostile to African American voting rights, a lot of people, a lot of the African Americans are looking for a safe place to go. That Exoduster movement brought a large majority of them to Kansas. Over the next couple of days, I'm hoping to use some of the cities that I have circled in red on this map to further explain what these Exodusters went through and why they came to Kansas. I can't go into enough detail in this video right now because this is just setting up everything I want to talk about. But each one of those cities was established for different reasons. Nicodemus was actually not established as an Exoduster colony, even though it's established for the same reason. So hit that like, hit that follow. We're going to be talking a lot about those Exoduster colonies and how African Americans made a huge impact on Kansas history. Stay tuned.